Well, let's introduce ourselves first. This is John Carrier, Putzmeister America, Jonathan Hage, Putzmeister America. Respective titles, what are the titles?
I'm a digital content creator. I work in the marketing department.
Sony Sales and Product Specialist.
And I'm this guy. Look at this. I made the TV screen.
You made a lot of TV.
But finally made a big screen TV screen. There we go.
I tried to play one of your videos up there, but it didn't work. So.
Oh, well, we'll fix that later. So this is the plant tour, Putzmeister America plant tour, Sturtevant, Wisconsin. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Close enough.
Sturtevant,
Most
yeah,
people
close
don't
enough.
get it that close. So.
Pretty good for a Canadian.
Not
Okay.
bad.
So where are we starting here? Where are we at?
We are in the pipe department right now. This is basically shipping for pipe. If we look in this area right here, the far bay doors, that's where raw material comes in. As far as the pipe, everything is cut, welded, sanded. It comes in here, it gets blasted, painted. Then it gets packaged and shipped out right here.
And you guys are doing twin wall, single wall, both options?
That is correct, yeah. So I believe we have 3-4 different pipe options all done here. It's nice and brand new. This has just come out of blast. So this is just all raw metal.
Oh, so they actually blast it down too before they prime and paint.
So it looks like this before it goes in.
So that's an Esser reducer. So what are the options? Are Proline 2000, 3000 Esser, and then Conform? Is that correct? Did I guess
yes.
right?
Right behind us here, this gentleman here, this is Mr. Mark Scurtis, so this is our radio and repair department.
You're on TV. How you doing? Nice to meet you, Scott.
So we have our own radio repair department. That's one good thing about us is, you know, for your radio, depending on the issue, you can ship it to us as opposed to the manufacturer. We have our own in-house radio repair facility.
Do you guys do like a loaner program?
We do, yeah. So what will happen is, Mr. Mark that you just saw, there's some paperwork that goes along with it. So before you ever ship us your radio, you'll have a good functioning kit. Then the package that comes, then you box up your radio and send it.
Oh, so no downtime. Perfect. Yeah, that's a big thing in this day and age.
So yeah, everything happens in there. So they have some test benches in there with the different vintages of control boxes, where they'll hook up the radio, they'll simulate a truck, and then you'll often see them basically strike out walking. They'll do range testing, so you'll see them a mile down the road range testing.
And they can do everything there. And is that all HBC radios?
It's all HBC, and there are some levels of repair that HBC still has to do.
Okay.
It's rare, but there are certain levels of repairs that sometimes, unfortunately, we'll have to go to HBC. But 90% of what happens can be done.
Okay.
Just right here.
I haven't been here in
Of changes, yeah.
8 years since I was last here when our 38 meter was being built.
Time you were here, this hall was actually refurb. This is basically where they used to repair used pumps at different levels of refurb.
And are you guys still doing refurb?
So we still do it, but they're off-site now. So our local Mac dealership absorbed that business group.
Oh, I see.
And so that business group now is a part of Creek Group, our local Mac dealer. So we still have that option. It's just not done in-house anymore.
So is this all Telebelt?
This hall now is all Telebelt. So you see they build them in different sections, so usually outriggers, transfers, swivel setups, all get built in different areas and then assembled on the machine. Then of course the brand new Telebelt, that's the G3, that's the new one. That's unit number 2. Unit number 1 is right there.
Is this going to be at World of Concrete?
I believe it is.
Okay.
I believe it is.
When can we expect that to be out in the market, available for purchase?
Q1 is what it's supposed to be. So
early next year.
This one here. So here's a 130 being built. They start their life upside down. This one's already been flipped up. So if we were to see the bottom side of it, there's a big chase where all the hydraulic lines and tubing run through. So it actually starts its life upside down. Once they finish the bottom side of it, then they rotate it back right side up like it is now.
And obviously the plan is that the newer version will eventually take over?
That is correct. We'll run through stock and then everything will go through to the G3.
So this is interesting because we could in our market, we were never able to get bigger than a 110 on our roads because of axle spacing. Because the 130s were always on a tandem. This looks like with a single tridem, like it actually would possibly work for
more
BC.
chassis options with.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything done in here is Telebelts. They haven't been in this area long. They moved over here for volume, right? When they get up to full capacity, they can build roughly 6 units at a time in this area. Where the area they were in was a lot smaller and limited on.
What's the general build time, start to finish, on a belt?
It's about a month. If everything goes well, about a month.
Real good. There.
All right, so this haul goes by a handful of different names. It goes by dock assembly. It goes by 50/60. It goes by connector building. Don't look at that 56 meter.
We'll talk about that later. That's a separate video.
But everything in here essentially is heavy, if that makes sense. Yeah. So you'll see 20 meters in here because the X unit comes to us fully assembled with the boom on it. So crane capacity all the way up to 63, 68 meters. So we have 63 here. Everything that is in here is also still weld down. So the only real cutting and fabricating and welding in the entire plant goes on in this hall.
Oh, because most of the newer designs, like the newer, they're all bolt down. So that's a 63 without a boom on it.
That is correct.
It's funny how unassuming it looks without the boom on it, right? And that's going to be one of the last of the weld downs?
In regards to 63 meters?
Just in regards to the Putzmeister lineup, most everything else is bolt down now?
Most everything else, yeah. So 56 there, you got a 63 meter there, 63 meter here. Everything will pretty much start and finish its life in one spot. So like dock assembly, right? So this will finish its life right there. They'll back a truck up under it, mount it. Once it's done, they'll actually pull around here and mount the boom over here. Booms will always be staged over here. They'll get outfitted with any options that may have been spec'd out on the sales.
So would you say this side is more so custom than modular?
It's definitely not modular. Yeah, there's a little more. It's a little more labor intensive
right.
on this side of the world. You'll see a massive difference once we get into the main assembly hall.
Yep.
That's a big boom. 63 meter boom. What does a 63 meter boom weigh? Just can I guess? Don't tell me. Let me guess. Hold on. A 63 meter boom weighs. I know a 39 meter detachable boom is about 13,500 pounds. So I'm going to say a 63 meter boom weighs 44,000 pounds. Do you actually know?
No, I don't know.
Oh, man.
I can get you a specific number. But
Dave Wright will know.
Yeah.
Dave Wright will know.
But I believe at dinner last night we were talking about the carbon fiber cylinders.
Right. So these are carbon fiber. And there's 2 of them.
Yep.
And each one of them is worth about 60 grand.
They're very expensive.
Wow.
Very expensive.
So I guess when these booms get bigger, everything, including cost, increases exponentially.
This is staged over here. They're doing all the tubing, all the wiring, all that. This is all the stuff they're doing over here.
I love the horn on the boom.
Yep.
The best thing they ever started doing. Especially on a big boom when you're 180 feet from the pump.
Yeah.
This angle sensors for...
SAS, it's a space angle sensor. It's an angle sensor. So this is for the 63 meters have EBC.
They still do have EBC.
Still do have EBC.
So they have the one touch as well?
One touch,
they do.
Auto fold, unfold, one touch, boom dampening.
That was a nice feature on the big booms, the EBC. Especially when you're pumping hard to calm the boom down.
Yep.
The boom dampening was a great feature.
63 in the States is currently the only boom with EBC.
It's still common in Europe though?
Almost every pump built in Europe has EBC on it. What they don't call it EBC anymore. With Ergo 3, it went to IBC. Intelligent boom control. Instead of ergonic boom control.
Does the full flex system utilize the same sensor?
Yes, it's the same exact sensor.
It is. So it's common parts.
Yes.
Now entering the
Warehouse. Very interesting stuff. So this is one of 2 warehouses. We have this warehouse and we have one off-site warehouse. That's about a mile up the road.
all parts inventory.
All parts inventory, yeah.
Basically everything you could ever need to build a concrete pump.
100%. Between this warehouse and the other one, yeah. We've got slewing gear drive motors, we've got sponge balls, we've got weldments.
What would those be for? Like a 47 meter class kind of pump?
Looks to be probably a 4X. Of course, we have our die-form cable for the Telebelt.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask what the cable would be for.
It's for the teledrive. All the way down to oil coolers, cylinders.
Here's a random question, random trivia. Parts inventory in here. There's got to be $10 million in parts.
I'd say that's
On the low end? Yeah, I'm looking at how high the racks go up, and every one of them is just stacked right full.
Hold on, bud. We'll go this way. So we'll talk about this. This is a mezzanine. We'll look at some equipment that we have. Just kind of take a look at how much stuff is in here in this mezzanine. It's two stories. I'll show you the piece of equipment that used to house all this.
This is all parts, fittings?
All just the little, bolts, nuts, fittings, things like that. O-rings. We'll walk around. So again, remember all that there. And we had two right here. And in those two lean lifts were all of those parts that you saw in that mezzanine. So essentially what they do is the parts pullers, you see your keypad, what they'll do is they'll have their ticket, they'll punch in a position number, and it will go in, it'll pull a tray down, pull that tray out, and then their parts will be in there. So all this is full of trays of parts.
Oh, so rather than having to hunt manually for them, you punch in a code.
So
and
think of the square footage that takes up, that was 2 machines.
And all of that is fit into this?
Yes. So all of those parts that were in that whole mezzanine that we just walked through was 2 of those.
Really?
That's how much it holds, yeah.
That's in the modula, which is what these are. It has like a 6-digit code, and that tells you which modula it's in, and then which shelf, and then which bin. So you go over to say the first 2 numbers would be either 01, 02, or 03. That would tell you which modula to go to.
Okay.
So then you'd go to let's say number 1. Yeah, similar to that.
So all those positions are all in SAP. When they pull apart, they know where that position is. All the trays are labeled.
So as they're building, as they progress, they go in, punch in what they need, grab their stuff,
Yeah.
Yep.
do a bit, go back, do the next phase. You weren't kidding. This is everywhere.
I told you. It's on like 30 screens.
All right, you ready?
And it's actually been more than 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's my 17 minutes. This is great. I beat the average.
So this area here is a few different things. First and foremost, this is receiving. So everything that comes to Putzmeister comes through those doors. Another thing that goes on here, the quality department is behind us. And it's a little less about the quality of what we're buying, or excuse me, what we're building, and a little bit more about the quality of the stuff that we're procuring. So everything that comes through those doors, a percentage of it will come in here and will go through a quality hold. And these guys will inspect it. It could be a hydraulic hose, right? Is this hydraulic hose that we bought, is it the right length? Has it got the right ends on it? It'll go through a complete inspection, right? They even do that with chassis too. Chassis.
Okay, just to make sure everything that's coming in is to standard.
So at the end of the day, it is about the quality of the product that we're building, but also about the quality of the products that we're buying to build these. Even down to some of these tables, there's a 3D scanner over there, so they'll bolt weldments to that table, 3D scan it in to make sure it is the exact weldment that we were wanting. But you see a little bit, I mean, there's side boxes, there's gear boxes, there's full-blown control cabinets, tie rods, coolers. That looks to be one of our newer coolers. That's variable amperage, so as the heat rises, the fans actually will speed up or slow down.
Oh, so rather than just being a 2-stage fan, it's infinitely variable.
Yep.
So this is this the more modular area that we're entering?
So this is the main assembly hall. So basically all 3X. You will see now some of the new 28 meters are built in here because they're pinned down. You know, they're modular as well. The occasional 47 in here. 47s kind of get in where they fit in. Sometimes you'll see them over there.
Okay.
Sometimes you'll see them in here. You'll see chassis inspections over here. What you see here is this year we had some of our X units come pre-painted from Germany.
I was going to ask you about that. Okay.
Just to help with workload.
So they are, some of the models still do actually come from Germany.
Yes. Yes.
Is there specific sizes, or is it just sort of a hit and miss?
That I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. That looks like.
So this unit came from Germany in paint, ready to throw on the truck and slap decals on it.
47 meter full flex.
And this will this be a full flex unit? It is a full flex.
You can see your angle sensors up top.
Oh, right. Okay.
You can see the updated outriggers.
How many 47s now have been put out there with full flex?
5-ish. Ballpark 5 or 6, and there's 2 or 3 here in production right now.
Yeah.
Ballpark 5.
39 meter?
Yep. Second. Yeah.
This one obviously was painted as an X unit as well.
38.5, my favorite.
Bread and butter unit. Sell more of these than we do anything.
I was seeing in the lineup outside, maybe I'll get a chance to see that later. There's 30% of the lineup is these. Yeah, such a great pump. Ours has been a
you'll like
pleasure.
This is cool.
So your VSP, your new to you VSP, this is one of the first ones mounted on a Mac MD.
This thing looks like military grade. Look at the wheels and tires.
Yep. So it's nice, got the blackout package.
Wow. When did they start offering this?
A couple years ago, we have a customer that started doing that, and it was so popular, and people started seeing it that that other people started wanting it.
This thing looks mean.
Isn't that cool? I love this thing.
So shout out to Custom Concrete Pumping. They're the ones that started the blackout packages.
Yeah.
It was so popular, people liked it so much.
Well, you know, it's nice with the wheels because aluminum wheels in our environment, trying to keep them polished and clean is very difficult. So it makes practical sense too. Oh yeah.
Isn't that cool?
You see that in the rearview mirror behind you? You get scared.
Get out of the way.
This is Mad Max.
So this is a show unit here.
Yeah, this would be in the world concrete.
I love the little Dodge Ram for me. I could see for guys that want to carry a lot of payload, a lot of 5-inch steel pipe and stuff like that, I could see the benefit of the heavier truck. For me, I like the smaller truck. This will be at the show in Vegas. Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
That 47 it's speaking to me. It's calling me. I know, one new pump at a time, but you know what's nice about it, looking at it from here? The boom is so much more compact. Like our 47's got the long overhanging fifth section. This is really, really tight. Overall, it's a lot shorter.
Is the way that arms 4 and 5 are here with the pedestal. Really helps with unfolding height.
Yeah, it doesn't overlap quite so heavily as compared to like a 56 would, right? Yeah, for a machine in this class, it's nice to have a little better unfolding height, in my experience.
So this whole area is all subassemblies. So of course this is electrical subassemblies. So essentially that pick right there is a complete truck.
Oh, everything on that cart right there, that's one truck.
So it'll be, you know, that cart and then a cart like this will be a complete truck. So everything's got sales order numbers on it. When production is ready for it, they'll come get the pick that's got the correct sales order
So this
number
person's job is to get one truck together, get it on a cart, it'll go out to the truck and then assembled by somebody else.
They're usually staged right in this area, and then once production's ready for it, they'll come grab them and take them right over there. This is another little sub-assembly area. You'll have gauge port centrals, hydraulic filters, water separators, things like that. There's not a lot that goes on in this area, so they build picks and then they move on to something else. This area here is one of the cooler areas, so this is a CNC tubing bender. Essentially what he does is he loads that machine with the correct diameter pipe, punches in a part number, and it builds.
Oh, it does all the hard lines.
Anybody that's ever bit tubing by hand knows how much of a chore it can be. This does all of it itself.
So is all the tubing done in-house then?
That is correct. So the only thing that he does, once it builds this piece, he swedges the end on it.
Yeah.
Of course, puts the nut on it, swedges the end on it, and then he shoots a pig through it to clean the inside out. And then he's done.
So all the tubes on any given unit are there pre-programmed files, and he just punches it in, and the machine does its thing.
Correct. So he builds these picks. You can see everything's labeled, and then of course production's got cheat sheets. They know, tubing number 35. They know it goes.
So this is a unit right here.
That is correct.
So you got your electrical in one cart, you got your tubing on this cart.
That is correct. And
So very efficient. Is a lot of this stuff new processes that have been brought in recent years?
Within the last, let's say that machine's probably getting to be 4-ish years old, 4, maybe 5 years old.
What did you guys do before that machine?
The old school way.
By hand?
Yeah.
Really? What an innovation.
Yeah. Of course, flat packs. So it looks like ILS pump kit here. Take a look at it. Of course, it won't be complete. Not everything will be on there before it goes.
So what are the distinctive, telltale, obvious signs of an ILS versus?
So right away, you can tell that it's head side driven, right? So no diff block. Your diff is here. And then you can see there's no proc switches.
This will go in first.
Yep. And you can see your linear sensor here.
Okay.
So now with no proc switches, there's a linear sensor that runs the length of the cylinder. Basically, the hydraulic rod and piston have a hollow channel that sensor runs through. And there's a 2-piece magnet that goes around the outside of the sensor, so the computer knows in real time where that cylinder is all the time.
Where previously, all it knew was when it hit the end of the stroke.
All it knew is when it hit here or when it hit here.
So now it can anticipate, and
It knows measurements at all times. So as Putzmeister guys, we're used to stroke correction. There's so many different terms out there of equalizing your cylinders, right? Putting them at the same position at the same time. Now all of that is gone. So stroke correction is now done in real time. There's no more hard bang when it bottoms out the cylinders to get them back at the same spot. The linear sensor in the computer does it all in real time.
And I guess that would also allow for improved timing of the valve, the changeover.
Changeover and everything is incredibly smooth, which in turn does what to your booms? It smooths your boom too.
Guys I've talked to that have run these have said the boom is like 50% smoother, just from the ILS pump kit itself.
The sounds it makes, everything it does is not what you're used to.
And it's more fuel efficient as well. I've heard.
It is more efficient. Of course, it's a different back end too. So it's got a different S tube. It's got a different reduction out of the back end. It's a very efficient pump.
Yeah. So the S tube is a true. You've got a 10-inch material cylinder, right? And the S tube is a 10 to 8 or 10 to 7?
10 to 7.
So we no longer have reduction rings at the end of the material cylinder.
No intermediate rings.
Intermediate ring, that's the word I'm looking for, yes.
So the cylinder goes right to the hopper. What that also allows you to do, like when your barrels wear out, normal wear, not running anything through a piece of rebar or anything like that. Where do your barrels wear out? Roughly right in here, right? With no more intermediate rings, what you can do now is when they start to wear out, you can actually unbolt these, flip the barrels.
Oh, you can flip them now.
There's nothing's happening up here, right?
Right, it's the same end for end.
Yeah.
Hey, want to be on camera?
That's it. No.
Tom Redding, it's the boss. The boss is here. Hey. Yeah, so it's way more, in terms of fill efficiency, it'd be way better as well.
100%.
So it's going to be a 7-inch outlet, and then I guess we'll probably at some point we'll look at a machine and talk about.
That's complete.
Yeah, we'll fill in that part.
We'll make more
to be continued.
On for painting gets done over there.
So build here, painted there, come back here.
Where these guys are, things like grease lines and everything that's not on here because it's about to get painted.
Okay.
All of that will get done over there. If it were a normal 16 cell with proc switches, proc switches and wiring and junction boxes, all that stuff would happen over there. You see he's building an FFH assembly now. This is the beauty of closed loop hydraulics right here. This is the entire hydraulic valving of the entire truck. This is all pumping concrete. This is all you need for closed loop hydraulics.
Now, does that assembly change much between an ILS kit and what we're used to?
Same exact kit. Yep.
It is the same, really?
Yep,
okay.
Same exact kit. So we use bidirectional hydrostatic pumps. The pump does everything. So no brain, no valving, no. That's the entire concrete pumping valve.
And which is kind of one of the keys to the efficiency of it all, 100%. Right? Less moving parts.
What he'll do is he'll build. Here's his Stiebel gearbox. He'll build the pump kits. He'll put them on this cart right here. They'll wheel them over, they'll jack the cart right up into place, bolt them right in.
So he puts the pumps. Does he put the pumps on the stable and the whole deal?
Yeah.
And then all goes in together.
So it'll be mounted on these frame rails here and on here.
And this one is a 16?
It's our run-of-the-mill 16 cell. We build more of those than we do any.
We love 16 cells.
That's a great pumpkin.
Yeah, they're just so tried and true.
This area here has gone over some changes. This used to be where the Tomcat product line was built. You may see one over there. We're pretty much done filling orders for Tomcats. But you'll see, of course, VSPs in here. You'll see our new BSAs in here. Still call them Tomcats. They're a part of the BSA product line. But it got confusing, so we went back to call them Tomcats.
Yeah.
So the old trailer pumps, the Tomcats, were replaced with the 1000s.
Okay.
It went from a North America product that we built here. We only sold in North America, South America.
Yeah.
They kind of combined the Tomcat line with the P line that is in Germany and then made it a global product.
Okay.
So that product is now global.
We had one of those as a loaner pump for a while. The performance was top
I saw
notch.
the videos. It was good. So the crawlers now, I believe that's a show unit. These are new. So I believe that one will be in the show.
And is the crawler, it's an available option to anyone?
It is, yeah. These are big for guys that do caissons with drill rigs.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Essentially, there's a piece of software that can go on there, too, that will actually follow the drill rig as it goes around.
You got a
So there's
VSP? So that's how the frame starts out for the VSP?
Right there, yep. So they'll build the entire pump out to
It's funny, it looks exactly the same as ours.
Yep.
I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
The only thing that's really changed is the early models had poly tanks.
Yes.
And then,
Ours has been upgraded to the steel tank.
yeah, big upgrade.
And it's got the nice, the boom pump style water pump, which is very nice. Yeah, these are so nice to drive. I would never have expected it. I was a little bit skeptical, but now that we've got one, I love it.
Well, like you and I talked about, my favorite thing about it is the truck is actually really quiet
Oh, when you're pumping?
when you're pumping. So you don't have a concrete pump just screaming away all day long.
A lot of the neighborhoods where we use these things, that's actually very key. We show up at 7:30, which is late for us, but for most of the homeowners,
That's
it's-
cup of coffee number one.
not on a good day, right? Beautiful. Ready.
So where we're going next, just watch your step. It's usually wet and slippery and greasy.
I'm excited and scared at the same time the way you described that.
It will be loud. ILS pump kit.
Oh, that's an ILS. Oh. So how long do you guys normally cycle them for like this?
On a good day, if there are 0 issues, 4 hours.
Okay. So you run the thing for 4 hours like this?
So they run it for 4 hours. They do all the hydraulic settings in here. They also test D-rate, so they overheat it, they overpressure it, they make sure all the D-rates work the way they're supposed to. Like they'll run it at full tilt, they'll unplug the fans to make sure it derates the way it's supposed to, at the temperature it's supposed to. All of that will be done in here. So if there's no problems, 4 hours. But the test process is two steps. This is pump test. Then once it's done in here, it will go to boom test. They'll do stability, they'll do boom speeds, outrigger speeds, OSS, they'll do all that outside. Everything all at one time.
Oh, so they plug in a master machine to read all the settings? that gives him all his info?
Yep. So that's what will read all his pressures, all his flows.
Oh, so it all pops up on there?
Yep. So that way he's not using analog gauges and kind of guessing at it. It'll all be pressures will
probably data logs everything too?
Yeah, to a decimal point they'll set everything.
I think John's gonna wind this thing up now. Hammer on it?
Yeah, it's none of the pumps are set yet, so it'll run a little rough.
Oh, they wind it down?
Until it derates.
I love these.
Okay, I remember when your brother was here in like 2016, when he saw one here.
Yeah.
He's like, we want those, and that's when we were just starting, I think.
So other people were making them, but they used an O-ring, and the O-ring would wear out, and they would leak, they wouldn't last. Yeah, we started buying them 10 years ago, and they probably saved us, the amount of sponges they've saved us, they probably paid for themselves 50 times over. Hey, another TV screen.
Another one.
Hey Tom, you want a picture in front of it?
Do you? Did they get one with you?
Oh, I got lots, trust me.
We'll get one of you sent under it though.
So this is essentially most everything that is in here is 3X.
Hey, do I see a 28 meter?
You will see 28 meters.
Is that a 28 meter boom?
Right there?
Yeah, on the floor? Oh, I'm having a moment.
So 28s used to be built in dock assembly where we are.
Yeah.
Now the new pedestals are pinned down.
Right.
So now 28s are built
They're in here as well.
They are essentially modular as well. So everything starts its life over here. So everything comes in the far left door. Pedestals are built, frame rails, outriggers, built into what we call a shell, okay? The shell will then leave. We'll go get prepped, painted, and then it will come back in this far right-hand door and start the assembly process. So we used to paint complete trucks. Everything that's in here is paint before it's built.
So let's say like the pedestals that come in, are those mostly built in Turkey?
Yes.
So anybody saying that they're built in China is full of shit. Full of shit. So this would be 47 meter.
No.
42. It's kind of
It's crazy because you don't see many.
I was gonna say it's a rare one now,
don't
isn't
build-
it? The 47 kind of made it obsolete.
Maybe 3 a year.
Yeah, maybe 5.
Just specific markets. It's a nice pump. It's a great pump.
I've got a handful of customers that for more like residential work, like Denver, some California, but mostly like Denver area, McClure Concrete. They absolutely love it.
They do.
Yeah.
It is a nice size machine.
It's because they're doing their own work, and they can reach 99% of most of their jobs.
Right.
Occasionally they'll have to call in a 47, but
I would love to run a 42.
now, if you're a contractor, though, the 42s can be great.
Yeah.
like McClure.
Because you dictate your own jobs, right?
Yeah. I've got a few in Texas that are the same.
But it looks like I see a ton of 38s. Like 38 is
38.
is the machine.
39
Yeah.
is, but again, 38s were sold.
Yeah, they got that pump so right. I can't wait
Again,
till
everything that's in here is modular, right? All the parts and pieces are essentially identical. The only thing that really changes is the boom that's mounted to it.
And when do you think the 30 meter class is going to go full flex? That's coming, correct?
Next year.
Next year.
But
That would be exciting.
Or 26. Is it into 25?
I think it's into 25, but the full flex on the 3X is going to be different. So your front outriggers on 3X are going to have intermediate positions. The front outriggers will not be fully flexible.
I actually kind of like that for that size better,
Yeah.
because then there's a little bit of a visual to go with it. okay, my outrigger is on the first position. I remember how far it booms out rather than being my outrigger's about this far out, so my boom will reach about this far. I think it takes a little bit of the variable out of it. Less options, but with a smaller pump, I don't know that it's as critical to be fully variable. You put 3 outrigger position options on a 38 meter, there's not much you can't do.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost as if it's fully flexible, right?
Yes, but honestly, even on a pump this size, even having just a second position is huge, let alone having 3.
Yep, so you'll have fully retracted, you'll have fully extended, and you'll have 2 intermediate.
So they'll do all this, then the boom, then it goes on the truck, or goes on the truck, then the boom gets married to it?
We'll go onto the truck first. It's actually quite...
So get down there, then it jumps over and the boom gets put on.
So was this pre-painted as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
everything that's in here is painted.
So whenever it's pre-painted, is it only Germany doing that?
No, no. The ones that we saw that were X units.
Will go
Oh, okay.
get painted.
Because you guys used to not paint until it was on the truck and assembled, right?
Correct.
Now everything in dock assembly still is that way.
The bigger booms.
Yeah,
Okay.
the bigger booms, they get painted.
Built already. Yeah.
I would think you would get a much more thorough paint job doing it this way.
You save a lot of prep time.
Right.
Think of the amount of prep. Every hydraulic hose has to be masked off. You know, every
Well, I guess on this too, you're not painting the frame. It's all galvanized,
hot dip
right?
galvanized doesn't need it. So.
Yeah.
I think when they first started this, we pushed back a little bit, and they were telling us the hundreds of hours per pump that they saved by pre-painting.
I can believe it, and I think you get a better job trying to
You're like
paint
you said, you're getting
properly around a frame, and it's just impossible. The auto greaser looks bigger now.
Yeah, so they come now with a bigger reservoir, and we call it a combi option. This is standard now. So what used to be standard was just your regular greaser that greases the back end.
Yeah.
So now you have a bigger reservoir, and you have this piece of equipment here. So every so many hours of boom movement, this diverter valve will turn on, the pump will turn on, and it'll grease the ring gear and the A hinge.
Oh, so the same greaser does boom and back end now. You don't have two
So-
separate greasers.
Not the full.
It depends. So the full boom greaser still has 2 greasers.
Okay.
This is what we call a combi.
Oh, so that's
So it does
Pedestal.
the back end, it does the ring gear, and it does the A hinge.
Oh, okay, okay. So yeah, if we have full boom greaser,
It will have
it's
a second
separate greaser. Okay, okay, fair enough. That's a nice option, having a grease the pedestal,
Yeah.
because that, in my experience, does not get done nearly enough.
No.
It gets overlooked way more than it should.
And they'll be outfitted with options, right? So they'll do pipe kits, they'll do hydraulic, they'll do greaser systems if it's got a greaser on it, hose bundles, everything will be done here. As these trucks progress down, of course, it's married to the chassis here. Once it's done there, then it comes in over here and the boom's married.
So 47, 40, a couple 40s. Yeah, a couple 47s.
47. One of those is probably a 42.
The 47 is very popular, isn't it?
Yeah.
42 has a straight turret though. So.
That's right, yes. And is this, it is a 28 or a 33? No, it's a 28. Oh, it is a 33.
Where I liked it.
Which has made a bit of a resurgence, hasn't it?
It has.
This year we built more of them this year.
I guess, once again, it's one of those things, if you control your own jobs and that's the size you need, then so be it. For us, it's like, it's a bit of a lost size. If we're gonna go bigger than a 28, might as well have a 38, right? But that's our market. And these are mostly built in Turkey, manufactured?
Those are gray. I believe that is Turkey. Actually, no, I think gray is Grundau. I think that's
Oh, gray is Germany.
The greenish color is Turkey, though.
Oh, that's how you can tell, okay.
Yeah, the primer colors. If it's all white, it's China. If it's this color, Grundau, that greenish color is Turkey.
And with the all white would be the Sani stuff?
Yeah. Which, come to find out, there was no Sannies in production.
Oh. That's a nice color blue. Is that TPG, Quebec? I like that, man. That pops. That is a really nice color.
Pompage de Béton.
Oh, it is out of Quebec.
Yeah,
Pompage.
it's not TPG.
Yeah. I'm all good for now. Thank you. So this is going to be obviously inventory storage.
Yep.
Complete units
Most
out here.
of what you see is for production. Some you see, of course, is because this is all pipe manufacturing right here. So some of this is their inventory. And then some of it is part sales, but not much.
Ooh, lots of RS-850 stuff.
Lots of RS-850 towers. Of course, you can see some painted X units back there. Those are dead giveaway that came from Germany, though.
A ton of stuff out here. There's a 28. That's got to be a 28. Oh, no, it's not. No, another 33. 28 right there, okay. There she is. I still want that pump, but I'm warming up to the 33 Sani, to be honest.
There should be some 33 Sanis complete laying around here somewhere. These are all Sanis here. Sani 39 meter here. There's your 30. There's your Sani.
Oh, this is a 33 right here.
Lowest unfolding height in the business right there.
Well, I love that it's using the short telescoping rear outrigger legs on a pump in that size class.
That rear outrigger comes out 3 foot.
Yeah, I think that's clutch rather than having the bigger swing outs. Yeah. Just for the type of work that we would do with something like that.
The integrated pedestal and all that too, I like a lot.
Yeah.
So your water and your hydraulic, everything's all
built into it. Yes. And there will be one at the show.
There's supposed to be, yeah. It should be here complete.
You know, it's surprising how good that unit looks just in all white.
Yeah. I mean, if it was me, that would be how I would spec mine, and everything would be vinyl. Yes,
and then when you go to sell it, especially if you like to flip your gear every 5 or 7 years, it definitely helps resale, I think, or ease of resale.
And then too, vinyl is easily replaced. You know, we design, print, cut all of our own vinyl in-house. So you can just call us and be like, hey, I need this piece of vinyl, we can ship it to you. There's vinyl installers everywhere, right?
Yeah, every 7 years or so you just replace it.
There's not many paint shops in your town that can fit a pump in.
Right. Well, and to get a pump properly painted is next to impossible.
So this out here is all PDI. So these are all complete 47 meter full flex. Everything here is complete. It's going through its final inspection before it delivers to the customer.
So that's a full flex unit right there.
47 meter full flex.
Another VSP. If you want to make money pumping concrete, that's how you do it right there. Oh, these are the service trucks.
Oh, I forgot about that already. Oh, there's nice little trucks.
So from what I understood, these will be strategically placed throughout the market, and
they will be housed at basically a parts depot that will have a spot to work on pumps. And you know, the idea is they'll be somewhere, you know, that they can travel upwards of 2-3 hours to get to a customer.
So you'll have factory support within a couple hours of where you're at. Any idea where the first couple are going, or is that still to be determined?
Yeah, the first 3 are picked out. One of them is already in process.
Oh, okay.
Dang.
Oh yeah.
Super nice.
Ah, there's the 14,000s. Look at the scale on these things, right?
Baddest in the industry, right?
Yeah,
there.
to this day.
Guinness World Record holder.
To this day.
That might be soon changing, but got some big projects going on the other side of the world.
Have you guys ever, out of this location, sold one of the super high pressure 14,000s?
We have them here occasionally, yeah.
That's like the Dubai spec, right?
Yeah.
The one where you look it up in the hydraulic specs, it says classified. I love it, yeah. 635 horsepower.
I love showing these off because just the size of the tie rods on the material cylinders.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
the tie rods.
And this is like New York City, 100 stories.
Yeah. So what is Burj Khalifa is just over I think it's 606 meters tall.
That's how tall that was?
Yeah. 606 meters.
And how high did they actually pump concrete to on
Not
that?
606.
2110?
That's a bad boy too.
So it's a common question discussion. The difference, less horsepower, smaller hydraulic pumps?
Smaller hydraulic.
Same drive cylinder, same hopper, same hardware, just less horsepower. So the pressure is there, but if you're going to push volume at high distance, you want the horsepower. Okay. Because we had a 2110 truck mount, and to us it was like the baddest thing in existence.
I've done some 2110 Mac mounted 2110 jobs as well, and they're wonderful. They're wonderful.
Like for what we do, that is probably a weapon. It's too much. This is nice, but we like the 2110. We really like the truck mount stuff. We really enjoy.
These pumps are so, especially the 14,000, they're so powerful. You'll commonly see the 14,000s concreted in place, where they'll form up the tongue, and they'll basically concrete.
Oh, to lock it in.
Place, yeah.
The one we checked out in Toronto, they did have it chained down at all four outriggers.
I've seen them blow through.
Really?
Chains and bolts.
Really?
Yeah, not uncommon to see them concrete.
Okay, that's a 63 puts.
I didn't see what was out here on the test bed.
Oh, there's our weight. 9,320 kgs. So about 30,000, 32,000 pounds. So I was off by quite a bit. I said 43,000.
It was a good.
I wasn't off by that much though.
I wouldn't have even known. Yeah, so this is our boom test. They do stability. They do everything out here.
So do you guys
The other part
stability test every pump that leaves the yard? You do?
So you can see they got all their engineered weights out here. That's what all this is.
Oh, okay.
So the pump will get set up. They'll hang weights off the back end, the deck, and then each individual boom section. And then of course the pump is rated for a certain weight. The boom sections are rated for a certain weight. We go roughly 15-ish% over.
Okay. And then for OSS and short rig and whatnot, do you guys also test them short rig?
It's tested here with weights.
Because that's part of CPMA, isn't it?
Yes. So we swing weight, what we call swing weights, and we'll do that in OSS as well.
So every truck that leaves the yard, if it's a pump unit mounted on a chassis that hasn't been done before, it gets fully tested. There's no question marks.
Every single pump that leaves here gets stability. There's those no fans. ILS.
This one's not full flex, right? The first full flex unit's in the building.
Yep.
We're going to talk about that in a bit.
They're just barely on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a nice feature. Especially in colder climate, you kind of stayed optimal temperature a little bit more efficiently. Yeah, I can't get over how much simpler that pump kit is in terms of packaging. Yeah, you don't have all the external lines anymore.
39 HPD.
I was gonna say, I can tell by the hopper, 13 HPD, detach.
Really cool pump.
Now he's got it jacked up so high just for inspection purposes?
They do that, yeah, and they put it roughly in the worst case scenario. There's no reason for
Okay.
it. Outside of doing this, there's no reason. But again, if you go by the book, those tires are supposed to be off the ground.
Yes. So that's a common internet debate.
It is.
Keep the tires on the ground, you're going to wreck the suspension, or keep them on the ground, the pump's going to slide away.
People don't like the pump to
Yeah.
wiggle, but if the pump doesn't wiggle, what's the only thing that can wiggle?
Right.
The boom. You
Yeah.
turn a dynamic load into a static load, the only thing that energy can do is go to the boom.
Right. Yeah, no, it makes sense when you, especially when you put it that
Do
way.
you have to do that? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But in this case, there's no difference between a ½ inch off the ground and a foot off the ground.
What I was always told was like very light contact.
Light
is
contact's
ideal.
no problem. So I tell guys all the time, it looks like a crane.
Yeah.
A lot of the things it does is very similar to a crane. What does a crane have that this does not?
Right.
Counterweight, right? All of this is engineered counterweight. The transmissions, the pumps, the tires, all of this is engineered counterweight. So it is more stable with the tires on.
Right. The more weight hanging, the better.
13H, huh? Yep. So what he's doing right now is boom speeds. So you'll watch him, he's just running that one boom section, lock to lock, and timing it. Boom speeds, the idea of boom speeds are very subjective, right? Your idea of what a boom speed should be is not my idea,
Right.
is not his idea. So we go by an engineered time. That's the best we can do, right? Is we say this boom section on this size pump from lock to lock should be this time plus or minus.
Because now that can actually be done from the remote.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
wanna
need
see
the
it?
lap. Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool to see. Because for a while there, Ergo 2, it had to be done from a laptop, right?
Yes, yes.
Which we didn't like.
It was not the best. Not the best. Make it look like you weren't sleeping.
Oh, you're getting heated trailer? That's
Heated and
wicked,
cool,
man.
huh?
How you doing?
Yep. So that's your graph, right? So you can see he's on arm 2,
Yeah.
and he's got it on minimums, and then maximums, right?
Okay.
So the cool thing about it with it on the minimums, that boom section will only do the minimum speed. You can go full joystick with it, and
Yeah.
it will only do the minimum speed. So like I said, he's got his chart over here. That's what he's filling out. He's got his stopwatch. And as he goes lock to lock, he checks his stopwatch. If it's good.
So now we've actually, not only can we tune it, we've got a visual on the remote.
Absolutely. Basically a bar.
I tuned one last week with old Teleteach battery, and you're watching the Have valves, and just a lot of it's still guesswork, right?
Yeah.
That's so much better. So do you need like a swipe card to get into that, right?
No.
Like
So
key card?
you have a machine-specific password for the EGD.
Yeah.
So the EGD, you'll go in through a teach menu, and when you bring up that teach menu, you select OK. It brings up that hidden menu.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And is that just for user defined, or that's Rabbit? internal as well?
User defined has the same exact menu.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about user defined now is, remember in user defined, you're not changing the hard set points in the computer.
Right.
You're adjusting in between the hard set points.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're not adjusting your potential maximums. You're
Correct.
adjusting in between.
You're adjusting in between.
Yes.
And the cool thing about user defined now is you can do A up and A down individually. So it used to be you just changed the A section.
Yes.
Now you can do each direction independent.
Okay. So it's
Which is great. Think of your A arm. A arm never runs the same up and down because
You get all-
everything's
all the
hanging
weight.
off of A.
Yeah.
So down is always going to be faster than
Right.
up, theoretically, right? So now in user defined, you can actually adjust it independently.
Yeah, there's so much about Ergo 3 that I'm excited about. I can't wait to get the first one in the fleet. Unfortunately, Mike's going to run it mostly. I might get a couple days on it at the start, but yeah. So he's getting all that dialed from the factory.
Yep.
And like I said, when the machine gets to the end user, the in-service people will kind of...
Yep, again, because the idea of a boom speed is subjective, right? So he works off of times.
Yeah.
We get to an engineered time, and then it gets dialed into the operator.
Right.
console.
Look at all these trailers, and they all have the high pressure hopper now. They've all got the reinforcement. It used to only be the TK60s that had that, right? That's a lot of trailer pumps.
Oh, that's only a piece of them.
Oh, there's the 105, the high pressure. I guess the 104s are a big seller because they don't have DEF, right?
They're under the horsepower, yeah.
Well, it's amazing, guys. Thanks for the tour, and everybody here will be at the show.
Yes,
Absolutely.
We didn't. John Kerry, we didn't introduce you formally in the video. Dave got the introduction. John didn't get the introduction.
Yeah.
Jonathan Hage,
Everybody knows him.
the Putzmeister crew. Good tour. Good tour. Look forward to seeing World of Concrete. Till next time. How's it go? Keep on pumping? Yeah, something like that.